Hey guys, my name is Dr. Sharnael Wolverton Sehon. I am with Swiftfire, and today we have a really cool surprise because I have Jennifer Murray on with us today to share a little bit about how we can be more effective and what we're doing and getting better productivity and seeing some new ways just in some simple tiny baby steps, make some new choices and to just be more effective in everything that we're doing. Sometimes the things that we don't necessarily think are the things are the things. And I found that out through a little bit of reverse engineering. And we're going to share a little bit about that today. While I'm getting her on, I was going to give a little backstory about how we connected and also want to let you know how you guys can win some cool prizes today because I have some an orange vitality that I'm giving away. Yay. Peppermint oil, and also one of my favorites ever, pine. So, and we're going to talk about these as well today in our little call. But I want to, our meeting today. I want to explain a little bit. Can you hear me okay, Jennifer?
I can. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yes, awesome. Cool. I want to just explain a little background about how we connected, and then I'm going to get her to give us her background, and then we'll just jump right in here. But we are a part of a really cool conference coming up at the end of this month in Oklahoma with Robert Stevens and Janelle and a lot of other really cool teachers. And I am one of the speakers. And I looked at the speaker list and saw that Jennifer is actually speaking there as well. And her topic is about clearing the house and clearing, which also clears the body and the energy of that, and just how to get things organized. And I was so excited about this topic because some of you guys know my story. When I really started doing some inner work, I found out that what happens when I do and have done and still do the inner work, that my entire environment on the outside switches as I do some inner work on the inside. And that
Yes.
kind of works both ways. And so I'm not personally going to be there in Oklahoma. I'm going to be there via online Skype. And so I was a little bit sad actually to not be able to participate in her teaching because I love looking at all the different ways that people look at this energetically. And so I reached out to her. I'm like, hey, I know you don't know me, but I would really love to interview you because I think the whole world needs to really jump into this and take some valuable expertise, just some little simple steps. And I thought maybe we could do a quick interview and kind of talk about some of these things so we can see how we can help all of you guys as viewers. Because I know that all of you are in different parts of your life doing different things. You all have different businesses, you have different things going on with your family, and to be more effective in this day and age is big. If you can be more effective as a mom or a dad in your life with whatever business that you have, believe me, time is a big deal. Time is huge. And it's not about time management because we cannot manage time. We all get the
Nope.
same amount of time, but it's about self-management. It's about productivity management. It's about creativity management. And so as we work together on maybe some baby steps of productivity, then you're going to see some things really shift. And I'll give you an example. When I was working with Bob Tennyson Stevens, who I know you guys are really familiar with, and someone who's my personal hero and friend, we were doing we went to this All For You weekend. And when we went to the All For You, a lot of it was about, just being better people as ourselves and making some new choices and to using conscious language and to just understanding why we've had some bad patterns in the past, not bad, but different patterns in the past that maybe weren't serving us, and how to see some new patterns, which is what I love teaching about. Well, there was a group of about 40 of us, and when I got home, I kept practicing the things and the tools that we did. And within a couple days, I started looking around my house, and maybe some of you have done this, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's piles over there, and there's piles over there, and maybe I even saw the piles before, but either didn't have the energy to deal with it, or it just wasn't bothering me as much as all of a sudden it was.
You
So
get
I,
blinders.
yeah, so I actually like started, I'm like, well, I'm just going to do this, and then I'm going to do that, and then it turned into this, and then I'm like, well, I'm just, I'm one of those like eat the frog in the morning kind of person where I get up and it's like the thing that I don't want to do, I'm going to do that first because I want to get it over with, because I'm not going to technically eat the frog. I don't even eat frogs. So, but that's a way of saying do the thing that you don't want to do now as first, and just get it out the way, whether it's making the phone call, going to see the person, doing whatever it is, doing the thing you don't like, the taxes, whatever. And then, but what happens is as I took those baby steps, I was like, you know what? Cleaning that one drawer out wasn't a big deal. Now I'm so excited about cleaning the drawer out. I'm going to clean the other drawer out, or I'm going to clean the cabinet. And I just kind of broke it down in little pieces. And next thing you know, Jennifer, I had 23 bags of stuff that were gutted out of my house to be brought to Salvation Army. Now, that wasn't anything that I was just like mentally putting together with the conscious language or the stuff with Robert or anything else. I was just like thinking, I guess it was just the day for me to finally do this. Thank you, God, that I made time to do this. Well, I posted that on my Facebook, the 23 bags in the back of my van, and like showed a little picture of like, hey, I'm sending this, I'm bringing this off. Like, look what I did, because I was so proud. I like, send me a trophy, everyone. I just did this. And you would not believe, like, I'd probably say 50% of the people who are in that same group with me all took their own pictures of their clean drawers and their big truck fulls of stuff that they were putting up and all the different things. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So we all had that in common. And then we had some similar things, getting rid of old clothes, just feeling like order was really important, because order on the inside creates order on the outside. And the reverse also happens. And what I mean by that is, for example, I had 3 really big decisions to make here in the last week, and all of them seemed really, really good. They did. And I know what I mean, Jennifer. But I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, sometimes it's like overwhelming, because good doesn't mean great, but good just means good. And it's like, what if it's not the highest choice? Like, I just really choose to have the very, very, very best outcome in all things. And I had this, I was telling Jennifer this, I had this 4 bags of stuff, like garbage stuff, in this corner that my kids had cleaned out their room and put it up. And I was the final on that. I was supposed to go through all of that and go through and make sure that none of it was mine, or none of it could be passed on to the older kids, or whatever. Because sometimes when they clean, they're just like getting rid of like grandma's stuff and things, that's really important things or whatever. And I'm like, hi, this is a brand new thing. The tag's still on. This isn't going in the donation thing yet or whatever. So I knew, I kept looking at that pile for over 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and sitting with this whole different situation of like trying to remember my best choice for a business situation. I knew all I got to do is go clean out, go through, go through those 4 bags of stuff, and I'm going to have my answer. I just knew it. Like, I know that may not like make sense, but we're going to talk about that today. And sure enough, I went over and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do 1 bag today. I'll do 1 tomorrow. Do 1 every day this week. I'll start Monday. And of course, I always start out like that. But I actually did bag 1. And then I was like, I'm just going to do 2 now. And then I finished 3. And then I was like, okay, I'm almost done. I might as well do 4. And sure enough, as soon as I did it, I sat down for a minute and I had my answer. So I love talking to Jennifer, because she's this is her area. This is her expertise. And I know that some of these things are going to connect some things for you, because for me, sometimes the most obvious thing isn't really the obvious things, and things can be hidden in plain sight. And so I want to look at energy with you guys today, and I want Jennifer to give her background and explain what she does, because she helps people every day with this exact same thing. And I'm really excited for you guys to jump in. hear what we're going to say today and see how you can apply these little things in your life to make your productivity, your creativity, your inspiration, your ideas not just be in your head anymore, but have a decisive understanding of where you're going, what you're doing, and having better productivity, better effectiveness, and actually getting the results that are best for you. So, Jennifer, tell me what you do. Tell us how to find you. Tell us about, where we can connect with you and how you even got into this. Give us some background here.
So first of all, thank you for having me. I'm very honored to be here, and I did know you. You said I didn't know you, but I knew you. I knew of you. I had watched your videos and fell in love with your energy and your heart and your passion for helping others. So thank you. I am so honored, so pleased and happy and excited. I told everybody I knew that this was happening today because this was really cool. So about 10 years ago, I was working full-time, had worked 2 jobs full-time while my husband stayed home with the kids because he was injured at work and had a back injury. And so he was off work. We were waiting for, a surgery date and all of the all of that stuff, that legal crud. That's not fun. You have no control over it. And I just felt myself like spinning out of control, out of control, out of control. And we lived in what I lovingly refer to as the shoebox. Cherie, I have a little dog. She hears noises and she barks.
Me too.
My husband just walked in, so she's really excited to see him. But I just felt like I was spinning out of control, that I had no control over what was going on. And I was at work one day, and this girl says, "Have you heard of Fly Lady?" Because, we were kind of gritching and griping about nobody picks up after themselves, and, the house is a wreck, and I can't see straight, and I can't think straight, and I don't know where to start. And so she mentioned Fly Lady. So if you've heard of Fly Lady and you've tried her methods, will you please put just a little hand or a 1 or something in the comments, because I want to see that when I come back and watch this later. So I did the Fly Lady thing, and it worked really well for me. And I just loved it. I fell in love with it, and I wanted to get that message out there. Like, I helped my neighbor, and I helped someone else, and I helped someone else. And what I noticed was, for me, it was amazing, and it was easy, and I loved it. And for them, not so much. They were not having the positive response that I had had, and I thought, what in the world is different? And so for a long time, I quit helping people, because that's a lot of work and a lot of energy to put in and not have them have that positive, life-changing outcome like I did. Well, then I found essential oils. And then I learned about emotions, and then I learned about beliefs and mindsets and law of attraction and energy and all of these things. And that's when it all came together for me. And I thought, this is what was missing when I had helped people before, because I realized that when I found Fly Lady, I started making decisions. And that is what it all comes down to. It comes down to choosing to make decisions about what gets to live in your home.
Yep.
And so these people that I had helped, they weren't choosing. They were like, yeah, whatever, I'll do this now. Maybe it'll help, maybe it won't. So now this is a conscious choice that people make when they call me, because when they call me, they already know that they're in that place I was in. Everything's out of control. I'm out of control. I can't think straight up here. I don't know where to start. And so that's what I do. I go in, and first of all, I'll do a quick phone interview, and then I go and do like an assessment in their house, and I speak with every member of the family, and I get every single member's take on what the problem is. And so that tells me their habits, their routines, how they feel about their home, how they feel about each other in their home, how they feel about their belongings, their clothes, their books, whatever. And so we just kind of build from there. And I do work with every member in the household. So the reason that it's different is because once I know those habits and I know those routines, for instance, I had a client who said, no, I can't clean this way. She said that it has to be done, da, 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 da. She's like, I was taught how to clean, and this is how I have to do it. And I said, who taught you how to clean? And she went, and you could see her searching, like trying to figure it out. And she could not find a memory of someone actually teaching her that. But it was a construct that it was a belief system that she had, that it had to happen a certain way at a certain time. And if it didn't happen at a certain way, or it didn't happen at a certain time, it didn't happen at all. And so then the downward spiral begins, because you get that perfectionist mindset of, I don't have time to do it the right way, or I don't have time to do it right now, so I'll do it later. And you keep putting off making that decision and putting off making that decision. And pretty soon things are out of control. So that is where my clients are.
Well, I think too, if it either we get so, I know for me, I get so busy that things tend to pile over time.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think the opposite is true, that sometimes I will on purpose stay busy to avoid having to deal with the piles. I don't know if that's just a red, but when we were talking earlier, previous to this call, you brought in the colors of, the personalities, and it was like, oh my gosh. So do you mind like sharing a little bit about about that combination, and like what you see when you're working with people who have different colors?
Sure. So when I'm doing the assessment, I have that program running in the back of my mind. What is this person's color personality? And the one who had to do her cleaning a certain way, she's a red. She's a very, very red-green individual. And so reds, they love a challenge, and they love to be in control. So being in control, that was her way of, no, this has to happen this way, this way, this way. Reds love a challenge. They love to be in control. Greens have difficulty making decisions because they feel like they need more information. So if you're a green personality who has kind of a cluttered, messy environment, I can guarantee that you probably have a cluttered, messy environment up here too, because you are constantly gathering information, gathering information. That is why you needed to deal with the 4 bags, or deal with cleaning.
I'm a very high red, and my green is almost exact, like a little bit down. Yeah.
Yes. So that's why you needed to perform those tasks in order to make your decision. So greens love the facts and the data and the research and the numbers. They're math nerds and they're accountants and, that kind of thing. Yellows are servants. And so when I walk into the home of a yellow person, I have to, and I'm a yellow, so I relate very closely. For me, keeping my house clean is how I serve my family, which is a very yellow thing. It's how I serve my family. It's how I serve my home, because my home also serves me in return. My home blesses me in return. I come home and the counters are cleaned off and the sink is empty and there's already a plan for dinner. I also have a little green, but there's already a plan for dinner. Everything is in its place. My brain operates better. Everything runs smoother. But my main motive for doing that is that my family runs smoother. My husband knows where he's supposed to be and when. We both work from home. I know what time the dog has to go out, and that's how I serve her. She has a happy life. I have a happy life when my dog is happy. So, and blue personalities need it to be fun.
Yes.
Blue personalities need it to be fun and social. And so I do have a very sapphire blue client, and she is one of my closest friends. And I love her because she brings out the fun in me. Blue is very low on my assessment, but I'm working on that. But she's amazing. She lives in California, and she had me come and stay in her home for 10 days, and we decluttered the whole house. The whole house.
Oh my God.
Yes. Yeah.
Come to my house.
I will do that. I am more than happy to travel.
I'm scared.
It was a lot of fun. So, but I had to make it fun for her, because I can give her the tools, I can give her the routines, we can set plans in place, but if it wasn't fun for her, she wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
So,
you're bringing up something to me right now, talking about the green red. I don't know if this is red or green or both, but the best way I clean is if I put some sort of teaching or educational documentary or something either on the television or YouTube or on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And because that way I feel like I'm still doing something, even though I'm really doing a lot, like that
Yes.
multitasking thing. And I'm just laughing at myself because when you brought up blue, I was thinking about my kids like to turn on music when we do cleaning. Like we'll all like to say, hey, let's everybody turn on music and everyone will do their thing. And and I was like, well, how do I do that? I mean, this is just like what I'm thinking while you're doing this. And I'm like, oh, I'd like to learn why I do it because then I
That's
feel
your
like I'm
dream.
ticking things off the list that I got to do
Yes.
anyway. And also, you know, reprogramming and also reprogramming because as we clean, we
Right.
actually are reprogramming the house, the code, the frequency. And I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah. Now, on the phone with you yesterday too, we talked about or this different cleaning, and of course, like you and I and a lot of people on this video today are very green, not in color, but green as in chemical free in our cleaning. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a big, big, big thing. If you're looking for clarity, oh my gosh, there are so many chemicals in the cleaning supplies. And if you want to mess up the pituitary and not be able to connect to not only God, but other people and have empathy and have understanding and be able to know what you're supposed to do at the right times talk about like, and your hormones because they're hormone disruptors. And you want to have like this kind of day, or you want to actually depend on not being able to have a good pregnancy or your kids to not have good pregnancy, chemicals are a big, big deal. But on the whole other spectrum of just being green, again, green not in color, but green as in
Right.
chemical free, in your cleaning supplies. Of course, we use thieves and different cleaning opportunities as we're physically cleaning, not just talking about organizing, but physically cleaning, and how that in itself can actually change the frequency of your body. Because it's one thing to be green. I mean, you can go to Whole Foods and get whatever green, meaning chemical free, cleaning
Right.
supplies and have a non-chemical experience and have your
Mm-hmm.
hormones love you and have your body love you. Um, but will it have sesquiterpenes? Will it help your pituitary to decalcify? Will it, there's different things that the essential oils, when they're real, will actually do to help your cells and to boost your cells and support your already amazing body. And
Yes.
on a whole other note, when we were talking about clearing, I made a comment to you that I actually really like cleaning with pine. And the reason why I clean with pine or lemon or orange is a personal preference because, of course, I'm saying my age, but my mom would would clean with pine sol when we were kids, not knowing about all the chemical problems with that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and so when I brought that up to you, you were explaining to me, which was really helpful to me, that connection well, it feels like it's clean because it smells like pine. Interesting. So do you care to speak a little bit on that, like as you work with other people, what do you see and what do you use? I'd love to know what you use as you're cleaning and organizing, and like what helps you when you're actually in the guts of cleaning.
So I use a lot of white angelica when I'm in other people's homes because I want to protect my energy. As a yellow, I am very much an empath and I very much feel and can occasionally take on other people's energy. And I don't want that because I need to be a coach. So all my head has to be clear. And when triggers come up for them, triggers can come up for me. And this is what I love about essential oils and emotions is that I take my oils with me into a client's home, whether they're oily or not. And if something comes up, I have the tools right there to handle it.
Yeah.
If procrastination is your thing, you guys might want to write this, or somebody can type it in the comments and you guys write it down. Procrastination is perfectionism postponed.
Whoa. Wow.
Procrastination is perfectionism postponed. If you are a procrastinator, put lemon myrtle and spearmint in your diffuser. It is an amazing combo. It will energize
Wait,
you and
lemon,
kick you in the pants, and
it
it will
broke
help
up a
you.
little bit. Lemon, myrtle, and
That's
spearmint?
okay. And spearmint, yes.
Okay.
Yes. So spearmint is helps with kind of depression or low energy feelings. And lemon myrtle is actually for procrastination. If you look in the blue book, the Releasing Emotional Patterns book, which is one of my favorite go-to tools, I use it, and I use Sacred Body Language Translations book, and I use them in tandem. And it's just amazing what I find, that all of these things, it's all so connected. So, when I just learned about Robert Tennyson Stevens, in January, and so when his teachings line up with what I've been learning about emotions and the body and the mind and the limbic system, all of that, it just goes hand in hand. So I just absolutely love it.
Awesome.
You asked me something I hadn't answered yet. I'm sorry. What was it? Oh, what do I
No,
like to clean
just
with?
what, yeah.
Yeah, I use straight thieves cleaner. I love it. Every once in a while, I'll add a little bit of peppermint to it if I feel like my home needs to kind of be uplifted and a little more energetic, especially in the wintertime. But I use thieves cleaner, and I use it on everything. I shampoo carpets with it. I wash the windows with it. I do the counters and the cabinet fronts and the toilets and the sinks and the tubs. Everything is done with thieves cleaner.
Yeah, and it's pretty cost effective. It's way more cost effective. Like one little bottle, like little $14 bottle or whatever, can last over a year. And then that's all you got to buy, like for everything. Because like you, I will
Right.
clean my refrigerator, my windows, everything. And that's like when we're talking about cleaning. Now, that's not necessarily organizing. For organizing, I'm gonna be diffusing now lemon and myrtle. That's a good, or spearmint and what did you say? Myrtle? No,
Lemon
lemon.
myrtle.
Lemon myrtle. That I don't think I even have that. I'm going to get lemon
Oh, it
myrtle
smells
and
amazing.
spearmint. I'm going to definitely get that. What
Mhm,
I diffuse is lime, clarity, energy,
mhm.
peppermint, anything, something uplifting.
Yeah,
Citruses, those kind of things, just because they do support brain activity, healthy brain activity, and energy. Um, and you know what? I posted this because a few weeks ago I told you that I use pine. Well, pine comes in this green bottle, right? And lavender is another one that comes in this purple. I don't this isn't lavender, but it has this color label. And I had in the past used lavender and peppermint combination because lavender is so cool. It will do whatever is required. So if you're
yeah.
really needing to chill, it'll chill you out. And if you need energy, it also will support energy. And so I will actually mop. I'll get my bucket and or my mop my little push mop thing, and I'll put a few drops of peppermint and lavender on it and then clean my entire house, because now we're not just being green as in chemical free, but we're releasing different things within the smell and the olfactory system that go into the pituitary, go into the body, go into your biofield, actually shift the energy of the whole house. Because and everyone's
Right.
breathing it. Everyone who comes over gets to breathe that, whether it's the counters, um, dusting, whatever it is. So peppermint and lavender is what my go-tos have been, or pine or orange. I mean, peppermint, lavender, pine and lavender. And I accidentally picked up peppermint and energy to do, and I just grabbed them because of the label, same colors. And so here I am mopping, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it smells like candy canes. Like, what does that smell? Like, it literally smells like Christmas here. And I was trying to figure out, like, what is that? And it took me about 15, 20 minutes before I realized, oh my gosh, I just mopped the whole house with peppermint and energy instead of lavender and pine, which, like, I thought I was. I was like, oh my gosh, but the results were OMG. Talk about energy. The whole house was buzzing after that, and everybody just ran around, like, cleaning and doing stuff. And I was like, let's do laundry, and let's do this, and let's do that. And I was like, okay, yeah, note to self, energy, and peppermint are my new things that I'm cleaning all the counters and everything else with. So yeah, I do like orange, and that's one of the giveaways too. I love all the citruses, and that's really good. High level sesquiterpenes, and also there's flavonoids in there, natural flavonoids that help the support the body to with cortisol levels. And so I love that we can do a lot of different things to support the body. And these are all really good, helpful things to not just support that, but also give us clarity. And as we're cleaning on the outside, we're actually cleaning on the inside. And as we're cleaning on the inside, guess what? Then we get the ideas, the creativity, the energy, and all that. So it really does go hand in hand. Tell us anything else. Like, what else would you like to talk about? We have a few more minutes here, or I don't know if there's any questions. One person had put like, how do we get in touch with you? Hey, how do we find this fly lady? Someone was asking, how do we find out about the colors? I'm seeing a few questions here, so go for it.
Okay, so first I'm going to tell you how to find me. My Facebook page is Heartstrings Homestead. So Heartstrings Homestead is my Facebook page. I did notice that I have quite a few friend requests coming through. So if you have friend requested me, thank you. I will respond, and I will invite you to like that page as well. I am also under that same name on Instagram, and I do post several times a day, just little ideas for either mindset or decluttering and organizing. Other than that, my website is also www.heartstringshomestead.com, and it has on there a little bit about my story and how I do things, as well as my services and fees. I do enjoy traveling, so if you are willing to pay for me to come to your home and help you through this process, we can certainly talk about that. So I want to give you guys some basic tips for decluttering.
That's what that was my next question. Give us 3 or 4 tips of where to start, because oh my gosh, if you could see my office right now, I am not even going to show you how bad it is. Like, you would not want to come over right now. And hey, not good or bad. It's just where it is. And it does make sense. I'm in a lot of transition right now. And I know if all of this got cleaned up, I would be a lot better. But so yeah, give us some basics, just 3 or 4 or 5 different things of just like, what do you do when you're starting from the beginning?
So when you're starting from the beginning, there's some rules that you need to follow. And the first rule is first declutter and then organize, because your brain can't do 2 things at a time. I know y'all think you're multitasking all day long. You're not. You're not. You're just spreading yourself really thin. Your brain can focus on one thing at a time. So if you are decluttering and then you try to start organizing, you forget to declutter, and then you're keeping things that aren't serving you, or you don't need, or they're out of date, or whatever, depending on what room you're in. So first we declutter, and then we organize. The second rule is you are not allowed to declutter someone else's belongings. Don't do it. It's not nice. It's not nice. That is why I work with every member of the family, because mom is not allowed to go and declutter dad's taekwondo outfit from 30 years ago. It's not allowed. Don't do it. I will work with dad and we'll take care of his stuff. My husband's in the background saying, if you want to throw it away, throw it away. But so that's rule number 2. We don't declutter other people's things. Rule number 3 is do not pass your clutter to someone else who doesn't need it or want it. Okay, my mother has done this to me for 20-something years.
Oh my God.
Every time I come home, I love my mom, and some of what she sends home I find useful, okay, but she can't necessarily let go of things easily if she thinks it's useful or I might need it or whatever. And so rather than donating it or yard selling it or whatever, she just sends it home with me. And if I kept everything that mom sent home with me, I wouldn't have space to even set up my little tablet right here and do this right now. And if you do give somebody something, release your own emotional attachment to that item.
That's good. I like it.
So number 4 is donate, 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 donate. You can take your stuff to Goodwill, okay? And I'm going to mindset real quick. Take your stuff to Goodwill, take it to Salvation Army, donate it to a women's shelter, or look for your local Buy Nothing project. Okay, you can do that at buynothingproject.org. I think it's a fantastic organization. If you've never heard of it, it is literally giving and receiving with gratitude. And it is fantastic. We've just started one here in my little hometown, and I've been really excited to see people give away things like air fryers, right? Like something somebody had to spend a lot of money on, and they just give it away to someone who wants it. And it's all done with love and gratitude. So I know you guys may have seen, you guys may have seen these memes on Facebook that say, you know, stop donating to Goodwill because their CEO makes millions of dollars and da 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 da. Let me address that abundance mindset right now. First of all, it's not your business what somebody else is making. And secondly, it is your business to be happy for them if you're going to think about it at all. Because that CEO of Goodwill, he's providing jobs for people who might not have jobs.
Yeah.
Okay. Every time you donate something that has a monetary value, and you guys remember, money is energy. Money is simply an exchange of energy between people. So every time you donate, you are improving the economy. You are improving the economy. You're putting something out there for someone else to purchase so that the money, the energy continues to flow. And what you put out is coming back for you. Okay.
Yes.
And when you clear out your home, pay attention. You said you had 23 bags or something like that first time. You made room for abundance when you cleared all the clutter out of your house.
Yes.
And you made room for abundance of clarity of thought and peace and joy in your heart. You made room for all of those things when you were no longer surrounded by your clutter. Yes. So donate and have a truly uplifting, abundant mindset. Couple of challenges that I do with my clients is I tell them every piece of money that they find while we're in this process, put it in a jar. Put it in a jar, and we're going to count it up at the end, because I can't tell you how many homes I've been in where people have coins in drawers and dollar bills just kind of, you know, stacked up here and stacked up there. I personally don't do that with my money, but they do. And I also notice that they're the kind of people who are like, oh, we don't have the money and we're broke and we don't make enough money. And, you know, they have a negative money mindset, but they are literally surrounded by actual physical money and actual physical items that have value, and they feel poor. So it's really interesting to help someone shift their mindset when they realize that they have 40 bags of stuff that was valuable. It just wasn't serving them, and now it can go serve someone else. It really changes their perception of abundance, and it's one of my favorite things about what I do. The other challenge that I ask people to do is to weigh every bag. It's so much fun. Weigh every bag. And for instance, I'm doing a 40 bags in 40 days challenge, and it starts in 1 week, so that by May 1st, we will remove 40 or more bags from your household. And it is so much fun. So that's going to happen on my Heartstrings Homestead Facebook page. There is an event listed on there. Go and join it. It's going to be so much fun. But weigh every bag and see how many pounds of clutter and negativity and limited mindset things that you can get out of your house, because it's really freeing. You know, we talk about losing weight. If you're struggling losing weight, you likely need to declutter your home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's all energy.
When you're decluttering your house, there are some questions that you can ask yourself. Okay. You can say, do I need it and use it? If you don't, let it go. Do I love it? Do I love it? Okay. I know y'all have heard of Marie Kondo. Okay. Put like a 2 down there in the comments if you've heard of Marie Kondo. I love the idea of keep what sparks joy, but frankly, there are things we need to keep that don't necessarily spark joy, like bras and and things and paperwork and, you know, that kind of stuff doesn't necessarily spark joy, but it's necessary, and we have to hold on to some of that. So And I don't do the whole, if you guys have watched Marie Kondo, she tells people to take every piece of clothing that they own and pile it up on the bed and go through one item at a time and decide if it sparks joy. I don't do that because my clients need their bed to sleep in, and it could take several days to go through clothes. So.
Oh my God, that's funny.
And it's too overwhelming to do that. So I don't overwhelm my clients who are already overwhelmed. But anyways, so do I need it and use it? Do I love it? And do I have more than one? If you have two standing mixers, you know, two, what are those things called? It's not Rubbermaid. But if you have two mixers, or you have two blenders, or you have 17 of the exact same style shirt in different colors, you maybe have too many. Okay, so if you have more than one, am I calling you out right now?
55 hoodies. Uh-oh. Yeah.
Oh, no. So I like to have people.
Don't come
So if I was working in your home, I would tell you to pick 5.
No, not with the hoodies. That's not happening. Because I love them. Do I love them? Yes, I love them.
You absolutely love them.
I have a couple tips too. So go ahead and finish up, and then I'm going to just share us up a couple things. Yeah.
So your biggest enhancer, the biggest thing that you can do to enhance your effectiveness in this process is to let go of guilt. Seriously. It is not serving you. Guilt is completely useless. So I choose for you to forgive yourself for the money you spent on the detox program that's been in your cabinet for 3 years that you've never done because it was way too complicated, but you won't get rid of it because it cost you $400. And you think, well, I'll have to use it eventually, right? No, it's not serving you. Let it go. Let it go. You don't have to keep it.
Yeah.
You yourself for spending money on something you didn't.
I'm gonna piggyback. Oh wait, it's kind of late. Are you good? Did it move?
I'm good.
Go ahead. I'm going to piggyback on a couple things that you said as far as what's helped me. And I don't know, again, it could be a red thing, a green thing. It could be a red and yellow, black and white thing. I don't know what it is. It's just a me thing, and it could be a you thing. But I know for me, I got out a calendar, and I literally would plot out what I was going to do, because it can be overwhelming if you have the whole house to do. And so I first made a list of things that I require to go through. That's the green in me. And then I went through and plotted out on my calendar, let's say Thursday, I'm going to clean under the sink and so bathroom. And then Friday, I'm going to clean under the sink and the kids' bathroom. And then Monday, I'm going to clean the drawer out where all of the scissors and pens are or whatever. And next Tuesday, I'm going to tackle all the socks that don't match, or what, you know what I mean? Like, I took it drawer by drawer, cabinet by cabinet, because if I could compartmentalize like baby steps, for me, it was more helpful, because I'm one of those people, I'm the green, that will make a list, and at the end of the day, not only will everything be crossed off, but if I think of things that I did that aren't even on the list, I'll add them and then cross them off, because I like to feel like I did something, and I don't like to have too many things on the list that I feel like I failed because I didn't do the list. So that's something about a green where it's like, you know, you want to feel like you did some things and you don't want to feel like you failed. So you know, I add like other things that I did. I'm like, oh yeah, and I walked the dog, put that on the list and cross that off. You know, all of a sudden I feel like I did something, you know, but I didn't want to make them too lofty and too big. Like, I'm going to clean the entire left wing of my house today or whatever, because if I didn't finish it, then I would feel bad or guilty or whatever too. So that's one tip that I would have to add on to this. Also, you talked about not just the movement of energy, and the law of giving and donating. When I think of giving, whether it is, and my thing of giving too, you know, on a biblical thing, they talk about the tithe. If you look at the real scripture, the tithe isn't always necessarily giving to a church building,
Right.
but it's giving to the church. Now, who is the church? We are the church. Everyone who's a walking temple is the church. So your church may be the church where you go and you attend, if you attend a church. Another person may be giving to the church, but also giving to the lady across the street who's a single mom and her car just broke down. And that's where the tithe goes. Or, you know, like you said, donating. So when I'm donating or giving these things, I look at it not just as an exchange of energy to make more room for abundance. Like you said, that was brilliant. I really love that. I'm also thinking I'm giving into the heart of God, whether it's a check to the water company for my $10, or it's the electricity bill, or it's a bunch of clothes that I'm giving away or whatever that don't fit anymore. You know, I'm giving to the heart of God as I'm giving with that release, like you pointed out to, with no emotional connection, with no like, no, you owe me this, with just giving because of giving. And you know, going back to that whole, you know, energy thing, that is a clearing, that is abundance. That, you're right, money and giving is all energetic. And as we give, there's an oil called abundance that's really good for that. There's also finance, but that is a really, really good point. The other thing I want to mention that you touched on is when you mentioned the questions to ask yourself. That was freaking awesome, by the way. Do you love it? And do you use it? That's really good, because I was going to bring this up. There is a law. It's called the law of use. Now, when you're doing that exchange of energy, if you have, you know, if you like and use 100 hoodies, which I may or may not use 100 hoodies. Who, me? I don't know. If you actually love them and you use them, awesome. If you do not use them, then they are not serving you, and it will clog up your energy cycle, meaning you will not be able to receive the gifts that are like, picture a funnel right here where, you know, you've been maybe asking and hoping for something else, but it's just not been able to land or trickle to you because you haven't opened up enough space to bring that abundance. If you're holding a lot of things in your hand and you won't let go, then there's nowhere else for them to land and to go to. So I was just reading the book called The Game of Life and How to Play It. And she was talking to this lady about how, you know, this woman who had like 1,500 necklaces or something. I don't remember. I'm making this up. But she used all of them. And it was fine because she loved them all. They represented something very different from her. And she, you know, would try do different ones, sometimes different days of the week, whatever. But different things. She was very meticulous about which one and why she would use. But she actually used them all. And then there was another lady who had like 3 or 4 or 1, but never even wore them. Like they sat on a shelf that she didn't even like necklaces. And, you know, she never put it on. And over 2-3 years, it was sitting wherever else. So I'm talking to me about what I need, what I have to do, what my choice is. And I invite you to look at the law of use, anyone who's on here, to when you're making those choices about what to get rid of, what to donate, who to give it to, or whatever, that you're also thinking about the law of use. Because when we serve the laws, there are certain laws like gravity that are just going to happen no matter what. And when we give with energy, then we get back energy. And even going back to like, you know, I'll do something where I'm like, okay, I don't have an answer. So I'm going to right now go and pick 10 things in my closet that I don't use anymore, that no longer serve me, and I'm going to give them away. And baby steps again, and also law of use in combination, and or 5 things or 6 things or whatever. And I'll say I'm going through my bookcase, which I have hundreds of books, you guys, and I love them all. But some of them, to be honest, are books that I don't even believe anymore or agree with because I'm on to a different thing. Yeah. And they're books that someone else could use. I just got rid of about $4,000 or $5,000 worth of books and gave them to churches, 3 or 4 different churches, because I knew they had libraries and that people would love them and that they would bring a lot of value. I had already knew the material so much that I didn't need to refer to it anymore, and
Right.
I'm also making room for new things and new ideas and new science stuff or whatever that I will need to or choose to refer to. So again, it's that law of use, baby steps, different things, giving to the heart of God, and not expecting anything back, but just giving it and knowing that this is God. God does things. God gives, and there's an energy and a cycle to that giving. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And when something isn't serving you, but it's sitting in your house and you're not willing to let go of it, that item can't serve anyone else either.
Yes.
So think about that when you're going through your things. You had mentioned earlier eating the frog, starting with the hard thing first.
Yes.
I actually don't recommend that for most people. It works for you because you're a red and a green. And so you know that you need to overcome that. But for people who are truly, completely overwhelmed, they need to start with something simple because they need those little wins up front. They need those small accomplishments, constant, continuous accomplishments to feel good to keep going through this process. So I always recommend start in the room where there's the least resistance. So maybe it's underneath the bathroom sink, or maybe it's the linen closet. Don't start in the hard place. Don't start in the garage full of your grandma's antiques that you haven't gotten rid of yet, because you're going to give up. You're going to experience a lot of resistance to getting rid of these objects that hold emotions and energy from the past. You're going to have a hard time getting rid of those. So what you have to do, everything comes down to decisions. You got to practice making decisions, and you got to work that decision muscle so that you get better and you get stronger. And then it's easier and easier and easier to do those more difficult areas.
Yes, that's a good point. And I like getting the kids involved.
Yes.
I think it's good to have the kids or the whole family involved in whatever we're supposed to be doing. And because they're going to leave one day and they're going to have to know how to clean their house. They're going to have to know how to organize. They're going to have to know that this is energy. They're going to have to know that this is very directly related to not only their abundance, but their productivity, their effectiveness as leaders, their productivity and effectiveness and inspiration in their businesses. When I clear out, then my business clears out and things get easy and clear and fun and easy. And I like that you said the thing about the decision muscle. That is super good for me to hear and to receive. I receive that. Practice decisions with little things, and then big things don't seem as crazy difficult. I don't like that word difficult, but everything's fun and easy.
Everything is fun and easy, but it gets fun and easier when you practice it being fun and easy. Most people have a cluttered home because they have piles of things that they said, oh, I'll decide what to do with that later. Not making a decision is still a decision. And it's usually a decision that leads to more trouble. So make the decision to deal with it now.
Yes, and the last thing I'm going to mention, because we just have a couple of minutes here left, do not be surprised as you are clearing if this also affects your emotions. Not just because things are connected to memories like she talked about, but because as you're clearing energetically, there's clearing going on here. And I know for me, like, for example, 17 years was gone 4 days a week, traveling. And so when I was home, I was catching up. And so piles and piles and piles got, whatever. I would be so freaking tired and exhausted that I wouldn't look at any of that to take care of any of that. So when I finally was home and started going through some things, I realized that it wasn't just me facing the piles, but it was about me facing my feelings. Like sometimes we could stay so busy and stay unorganized that we're afraid to feel. And so don't be afraid to feel, and don't be shocked as you get quiet in your order and in your organization that there might be some emotions that are clearing out too, which is also really good while we're using different essential oils and the limbic system, because the limbic system is the librarian of the body. It's the seat of emotions. And when we don't defrag different things that happen throughout our day, the limbic system chooses, you know what, she's not handling this, so I'm just going to store it somewhere and it'll go sit there until you're ready to deal with it. A lot of times when it comes up as a signal or a message or some sort of symptom, or some pattern outside. And we have not been taught necessarily to look at those symptoms and go, oh, well, that's probably just something that happened in 4th grade that's now ready to be dealt with. Instead, we a lot of times will, some people will go to a medical doctor and get drugs for them to just say, hey, take this pill and that won't hurt anymore. Instead of like, let's look at the root issue of the signal and see what the message is and see how we can clear that out so it's not lodged in the body anymore. So same thing with the house. A house is just a representation of you, me. My house is me. My car is me. So as I clean and as you clean, do not be shocked if you start crying or get angry or have any kind of, it's part of the process. It's totally cool. And maybe you've been avoiding that, but let's now look at that so we can be clear and we can have great symptoms. We can have great patterns, not only in here, but externally as things show up in our world. We can go, oh, that's really cool. Someone's asking which one. All Young Living essential oils will do that. Every one of them. That's one of their big jobs is as you smell things, it goes in the olfactory system. It'll pass the frontal lobe right here, go into the limbic system, and it starts telling your limbic system, defrag, defrag, defrag. And anything that has been stored to different stuff starts to be, let go and transmuted. Some people would say released. Released means to pay for something again that you don't own. I don't like that word. So I like transmute, meaning like move it to a different space, a more awesome space. So any final last words, my friend? I love you so much. Which one is that one?
Thank you. The second one that I put up was transformation. Transformation.
Ooh, good one. Yes. Motivation.
When you're in the process of doing this and something comes up and you're going, ooh, this is a trigger, simply use the words, I let go of what isn't serving me in this moment. I let go. Let it go, be somewhere else, because it doesn't have to be where you be anymore.
Where you be. I like it. Awesome. Well, thank you again. And for those of you who are going to be in Oklahoma with us, actually, I should put the link and drop it in here. So some of you who are maybe in the Oklahoma area, you can hang out with us or see us. I won't personally be there. I'm going to be on a screen, but I will be there. You understand? And Jennifer will actually be there. Robert Tennyson's going to be there. There's lots of people. I would love to hear your feedback on this, and definitely do all the steps that I have in here. And please tag, please like, please share this. I know there's a lot of people that can really be helped by this, and you may actually even win some prizes because I'm giving away, like I said, the orange, which is amazing. I'm giving away peppermint. This is amazing too. And one of my top favorites is pine, really grounding and very good smelling as far as cleaning. I'm giving away all the cleaning stuff. So love you guys. Thank you, Jennifer. See you guys soon, and have a good week. All right. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.